What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wes Grant, and you're watching Urban Nerd. It's my channel where I give my nerd views on today's nerd news. Now, first up on the nerd rundown is Martin Scorsese wants to produce a Joker original movie with Todd Phillips directing. Deadline reports that Warner Bros. And DC are creating a separate universe from the DCEU. So I'm wondering if that would make it a DCE2 or DCEU2. Either way, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm thinking it could be a double-edged sword for Warner Brothers and DC. Only because, like, on the positive side, you know, the more, maybe the better. Like, if you're creating two universes, right? And if it works, then theoretically, you're doubling your chances of being successful as far as maybe surpassing. You're not probably going to surpass Marvel, but it doubles your chances, because if, like, Wonder Woman already got this started off good, and if this is doing good or whatever, and you guys actually are on track and Justice League is great, then if you do another universe where you can focus on story, because there's a lot of comic books that do Elseworld stories, like Marvel, DC, all of them do this thing where you have your main story, but then you have all these weird storylines. Like they had a DC movie with Gods and Monsters, where it was a different kind of story. But they say it's supposed to be taking place, the Joker story takes place in the 1980s. So I'm guessing they could pretty much maybe do something else, whatever, because they're not using Jared Leto, so they're gonna do whatever they want with it, and it could work. It could be fun, you know, because if this one works out, then they can kind of do other things, other characters, maybe some characters that aren't as well known, but Elseworld. So then it's its own universe, so you don't have to tie it in with the new DCEU that they're doing. So I'm thinking it could work out with that. But on the other side of where the double-edged sword comes in play is everybody in the world aren't like us. People were confused when the new Tom Holland Spider-Man, they were like, what happened to the other guy? And why isn't he sad over Gwen Stacy? Because people don't pay attention to the news like us nerds do. So if you have another Joker, and then you have this Joker, Jared Leto's Joker, the common people might get confused. Like, you know, the grandpas, the grandmas, the uncles, the people that don't pay attention, they're not going to understand why does this person look different from this person that they saw in the movie with their, you know, grandchild. So that might be one of the problems that it could, you know, pose. But also, they could lose their focus, because when you're trying to do too much, you don't focus on the things and do the job correctly that you have to, because they just started this DCEU, basically. It's new to them. And the only thing they have gone for them that's for sure thing was Wonder Woman. And then they were building on Wonder Woman because you see how much more popular she's become in the Justice League trailers and all that. So if you're gonna, I would rather them focus on getting this right than already make plans to do this Elseworld thing, because if you try and juggle too many things, everything's just going to fall apart, and then you're just going to be back to square one again. So it could work. I'm hoping it could work, but on the other side, I can see how it definitely couldn't work. So, like I say, double-edged sword. You go for the gander, like that's what they say sometimes. Like, you go for it, go in or go all, you know, go all or go home. And it seems like that's what they're doing. But I just really wish that they kind of focused more on the Justice League, because no one really wants to see a Joker origin movie. Like, Joker is with Batman. You already get that. I understand they could go a lot of places with it, because in some comic books they have it where Joker is actually immortal, and there's more than one Joker, and like he's immortal, and the only reason he stayed in Gotham is because of the interest with Batman, because Batman's fighting this, and he's just so enamored with him. That's why he stays in there. That's why he's crazy. That's why he's always doing stuff to mess with Batman, because this is the first time in his, you know, lifespan, which we don't know how old he is, that he's been entertained by someone. So they could go somewhere like that, but I doubt it. Next on the news, on the Nerd Rundown, is Star Wars news. Deadline reports that actor Michael Kenneth Williams is no longer a part of the new Han Solo movie. He stated that the massive reshoots happening under director Ron Howard The revamped production schedule conflicts with his commitment to other projects. The only thing I can really say about that is I just don't. I really don't care. Why? Because he's just an actor. Actors get replaced all the time. You know? Like, he hasn't even been cast in a role. Like, they haven't even showed him yet. There's been so many times where actors have been recast even before this movie comes out. I'm going to give you two major examples. Michael J. Fox was not supposed to be Marty in Back to the Future. It was supposed to be Eric Stoltz. That's who was supposed to be Marty. But it just didn't work, and they actually reshot a majority of the movie with Michael J. Fox, because Michael J. Fox couldn't do it at first because of his family ties, but then space opened up, so then they got him back in, so recast. Also, Harrison Ford wasn't supposed to be the original Han. It was supposed to be Tom Selleck from Magnum P.I. If y'all didn't know that, you would have never had Han Solo. So it doesn't really matter. That's what I'm saying. I don't care. He's just an actor. Granted, he's a really good actor, because I've looked on his IMDb, and he's been in Assassin's Creed, 12 Years a Slave, The Purge, Anarchy, Ghostbusters, the new one, RoboCop. Like, he's been in a lot of movies, and I'm sure he's a great actor. But actors can always be replaced. On the next nerd rundown is, let me see. Oh, I like this one. This one's definitely, I'm probably going to make the thumbnail for this one. It seems Kevin Hart is teaming up with one of the most entertaining former wrestling champions of the world of all time. And no, it is not. It is not The Rock. I'm going to give you a little hint who it is. John Cena! You can't see me, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. So yes, it is John Cena who he's going to be teaming up with to do a reboot of Knight Rider, which is why I kind of wore this again, the Knight Rider show. They actually did a reboot in 2008, which wasn't too good because the car was like a Transformer. It was a Mustang. It wasn't even like the Kid. It was a Mustang that transformed into anything it wanted. It didn't just transform to go fast. It transformed into anything. A truck. You wanted a van. You would like car, plane, helicopter. I don't even know. Just anything you wanted or could think of. This car just like little cubes. Sort of like that when they redid Megatron in Age of Extinction for the Transformer movies, where he didn't transform anymore. He was a cubes. That's pretty much what this car did. It like, in fact, I didn't know how people didn't die in this thing, because it just folded all over and just did some weird ish. But that series did not last too long. I don't even know if it lasted a full season. But Kevin Hart is supposed to be doing this movie with John Cena, and at this point, it's like Kevin Hart seems to me like a Pokemon master, or a little guy, trying to catch Pokemon. And it's like he's like throwing out, or he's teaming up with all these different Pokemon. You got The Rock, you've got John Cena. It's like it's just weird to me. It's like he's teaming up with these guys. It's like he's switching them out. Like, go Rock, go John Cena, go. So I don't know how I feel about this movie. I don't know who's looking for this. Like, no one's clamoring for it. If they're gonna reboot it, they should have probably just rebooted it in a show and just got good, screenwriters and stuff just to make it better. But it seems as if I don't know if they're gonna try and go the whole 21 Jump Street. I don't know if it could work, maybe, but 21 Jump Street is like lightning in a bottle. For some reason, that just worked, and then 22 Jump Street was like just as funny. So, but that Bodyguard movie, I'm hearing bad things about it. So the Chips movie, bad things. So these reboots don't always work. Going on to the next story. Stranger Things creators, the Duffer Brothers, say they're only going up to season 4 for the Stranger Things show. I have no problem with it, but I'd say like this: it's like some people might be all up in arms about like, oh, they're only going up to season 4. I say it's like, what are you complaining about? We haven't even seen season 2. All I know is the show is great. But there comes a time when shows should know when to end, because if you just keep going, like, take for instance Smallville. Smallville, I loved it in the beginning, but after like season 3 or 4, it was a piece of crap. And it went till 10 seasons. And then you still didn't even get to see him in his Superman suit up close. You got no payoff for 6 seasons after the 4th. So it's like, sometimes you just need to end it and just cut your losses, because sometimes it just doesn't work out. That's with that one. Another Nerd Rundown news topic is comic people. There have been teases of Dr. Manhattan in the Rebirth universe. Well, the issue came out showing a cover for the new issue that's going to explain all of this. And yes, there's going to be a crossover. The Watchmen universe is going to meet DC Universe. Collision course. It's called... what is that thing called again? Doomsday Clock. Doomsday Clock is going to be the name of the issue. And it's a really good looking cover. So you guys should take a look at, keep a lookout for that. Last on the Nerd Rundown is THR reports that Comcast and Amazon are joining Apple to try to take over the world. Oh, I'm sorry. No, they're not trying to take over the world. They're developing a system for premium videos on demand. Basically, any movie in theaters, 30 days later, bam, right in your house. For the low, low price of $30. It could work. It could definitely work, because you know what? Only problem is, well, it's not a problem. It's just VOD, basically. So you're not going to get to keep this. You're just going to get in your house, rent it, most likely probably 24 hours or something like that. Just make sure you people that can't stay awake during the movie don't waste it, because it's $30 per pop. So if you get all your peoples in to watch this movie, but most of the time the movies that you want to see, you'll probably go out with your friends. But if you guys can all wait 30 days later, then maybe you can do it all as a group thing and then save money, like a pay-per-view fight. But they also had ideas. They were planning on maybe doing 17 days later, but it would be $50 per movie. But they kind of just went back to just doing it $30 for 30 days later. So I don't know which ones you guys would have preferred, but either way, I ain't paying it. Well, that's it for today. That's the Nerd Rundown. This is my channel. If you like right down there, subscribe. I have Patreon, Kickstarter. If you want to join, if you want to just browse through and see what I'm working on, just check it out. Also, remember slogan: opinions are perspective, as long as everybody's is respected. Yeah, opinions. All right. Yeah. So remember, tune in for tomorrow's daily show, and you've just been notified. Peace out, everybody.